Hi there, welcome to another edition of the Akashic Portal Insight Weekly. We're looking at the week May 11th through the 17th, 2020. I'm Jen Duchene, your host of jenduchene.com, and I am using the Illuminating Journey cards that I created with the help of the Akashic Records for this reading. An intense week because it is the retrograde week of the month, maybe the year. We have 3 planets going retrograde, including Venus, which is a personal planet, and she only goes retrograde every 18 months. So there's a lot of energy kind of slowing down for us to reflect, renew, resolve, release. Let's see what the cards have to say. Right, the first card we have here is the Soul Portal number 6. And I do believe this came up before. However, let's just focus on what this is saying now. So I sense this energy of slowing down that's coming through this week. Very much a slowing down energy, putting the brakes on. And that coming together, this idea of embodying both sides or marrying both sides of who you are, both sides of the situation, coming to terms with that, the blood of your life, the reality of who you are, the awareness that this is a time for building that connection within yourself and out in the world. This year, 2020, is very much about the relationship between you and the world, the relationship between you and your spirit, the relationship between you and the divine, and finding the balance in that. And so this card is very much reflecting that this is a key time of the year right now. This week is a major week in terms of awareness of that relationship, like what is important here. And when I look at the cards, I feel like both the male and female figures are being birthed out of the earth, out of the water, becoming more connected to a sense of self, united by the energy of the serpent, the idea of forgiveness, compassion, clearly an awareness that things are not as we thought they were. And so not to be so focused on trying to keep things the way they're supposed to be, but opening your heart, allowing what is to rise out of this, to imagine yourself rising out of what has kept you rigid, what has kept you feeling maybe stuck or centered around certain things, and allow for this blossoming, this blooming energy that is coming forth from this card. It's very vital. It also is vital in the sense of vitality as well as important to be in that space of earthly reflection, open-hearted, feeling the beating of your heart, the awareness of what is truly valid at this point, like what really matters. So in one sense, it's really slowing down. On the other, it's kind of a pulling away from whatever feels maybe rigid or old or unnecessary. So feel a sense of the rising of love, if you will, the love, the compassion, the being of being in the now with what you have. And it's a 6, so that is the coupling. The number 6 is about the coupling of, male and female, the idea of coming into the energy of wholeness in a new way, birthing into newness. 6 does reflect the idea of giving birth, being birthed, birthing something new, blossoming forth. Many people see 6 as Venus's number, so in some ways, this reflects her vitality of being reawakened. I'm reminded of the idea of, the story of Eve, if you will, the snake, that maybe separated in in our minds. We have this legend, we've been told the story that, Eve's eating the apple, uh, you know, chased humans out of the Garden of Eden. So this moment of coming back together, of being united, this threesome, the three parts of who you are reunited in this time. Let's see what the next card is. So here we have the card 2. So we move from a very kind of red card with some green into a very green card. So this again, the 2, the connection between heaven and earth, the connection between this idea of being of nature and the energies of nature, the awareness of nature. This figure here, very fairy-like, the energy of the earth, the deer, the cup, the female energy, the cup containing or bringing through the fluid of hope, of receivership, of awareness, and there with the 2, very much this idea of coming together in a very new way. So there's almost like an opening happening, this divide that's splitting things apart, and we're now coming back into, or walking forward into, something that is very different, but feels very whole, very united, and very new. So a sense of peace, which may not be obvious right now because there may be a lot of things spinning around, but coming to that energy of peace, of balance, of being pared down to what's the essence of who you are, what's the essence of this moment you're in. And the third card, and so the 29, which is considered kind of quote unquote the dark card of the deck, which is the card that kind of pushes you into going to the next level, to a new place, a new understanding. 29, which is an 11, and we do start the week with an 11, and we have a 2 already. We just had the 2 cards, so we had the 6, 2, and then now we have the 29, which is also 2. And this card is also, according to some, considered the Venus card. So there's this energy of music, of eyes, of awareness, of kind of breaking the fantasy, if you will, of our journey, or maybe activating the true mission or connection of our journey. Why are we here? What are we here to do? What is the thing we're here to understand and know, so we can move forward with a sense of truth, a sense of what is real to us. This card very much feels like this. There's a journey, like a breaking apart, as I mentioned with the 2, a breaking apart of where we've been or what we've been attached to, that had felt so necessary and now is collapsing, changing, shifting. So it feels like we're going through this recycle, the washing machine, right? We're going through a washing machine, a universal washing machine, and we're being cleansed of many of the things we've clung to, our clothes, the things, our habits, our stories are being rinsed and washed and recycled, so we can reflect and possibly choose something new, or choose a new point of view, a new vantage point. So maybe you're being swept away from where you've been standing, and now you're facing something different. You're looking at something different. You're becoming something different. It feels very deep, very rich, very natural. Like this is that place. This is kismet, fate, whatever, destiny. This is that moment to move up with the tide, move into that new place and be in the stillness, in the awareness of what gratitude is to you, what compassion is to you, what is stillness to you, what is kind of making up your mind. What is that? What is that thing that you're choosing to kind of hook into and become part of? The claiming that part of who you are when all or many things are falling away, falling to the side. So which of the things that are kind of moving you forward? So it feels a very powerful week. We do have Venus going retrograde on the 13th, which is a number of the divine feminine. So there's very much this energy of the female, or the female part of us, or the part that has been perhaps abandoned for a long time, coming back into that balance we talked about, the female taking her place, the equality of both sides, the recognition of what needs to be in balance, and the recognition or the acceptance of this journey that we're on that is not or no longer what we thought it was. A very powerful week. Jupiter goes retrograde on, I believe, the 16th. I might have that wrong. Saturn goes retrograde on, is it the 11th? I'm not sure. Anyway, just know this is the retrograde week. This is a week of shifting into a new sense of reality, a new place to be at home, right? Creating a new sense of home or being or realization. And yet this is a time of movement. So you're slowing down, you're shifting, and you're kind of changing lanes. You're moving into a different energy of what is real for you at this time. So wishing you an amazing week. Perhaps you saw something that I didn't mention, which is totally normal, right? That you would see your own wisdom coming at you from these cards. I'd love to hear how this reading landed for you. If you would like to order a deck of cards, you can find them at Duchene.com/illuminating journey cards. I do invite you to like and subscribe. And if you're interested in chatting about an Akashic reading, I do Akashic readings, healings, teachings. If you want to chat about any of that, you can always contact me through my website, jenduchene.com. I'll put all the links below. Have an amazing week. Just remember, we're moving through extraordinary times, so deep self-care, deep allowance of changing, allowing this, huge energy of compassion, of kind of falling into where we're going, to lead you this week with love. And I'll see you next time.